AscendTMS, the world's #1 rated TMS software. Missed our live training or just don't have time to watch them during the day? Don't worry, we have the full training by one of our product specialists recorded for you to watch anytime you need it. So grab the popcorn, sit back, and enjoy the full operations training.
The premise of this training is to go over some of the features in the load management screen, build a load from beginning to end, and show you some of the functions that a load has once it's built, okay? All right, so on the load management screen, a few things to point out. Anywhere you see these gray underlines, if you click on any of those, you get a small snapshot of information, addresses, phone numbers, that type of stuff. You can copy that information into a email or a text message. You have all kinds of different ones that it can show, last contact, all of those things are in here, okay? If you right click on any load, you get a shortcuts menu. We're gonna go over a lot of these features once we've built a load, but just wanted to show you where it was. Anywhere you see an up and down arrow in Ascend, that is a sort feature. Also on this page, we have this little gear here. So if I click on this gear, I've got where you can customize your tab. So in here, when you signed up for Ascend, we have customizable drop-down lists. Every one of these you can add to, subtract to, whatever you want to do, okay? Our main focus today is going to be on load statuses, but if you want to add to any of these lists, they all work the same. You can click into any of these boxes and change that information. You can add new values and come down here to the bottom and then type in whatever new load statuses, commodities, pay items, whatever it is that you'd like. With load statuses, you can also color code your load statuses. So for example, I have watch in this like reddish color. If I put a truck in watch, that's a problem. There's something wrong with the truck and I want it to stand out on my load screen. So I put it in this reddish color so that it stands out so I know to keep an eye on that load. Again, you can also reorder anywhere if you want to reorder the way that they're listed, and you can delete any of these load status. Also, with your load statuses, you can group them in active, planning, ready for accounting, or miscellaneous. That comes into play on your load management screen. So if you see here, you have active, planning, ready for accounting, and miscellaneous. So if you would like to group your load status, let's say active loads would be dispatched, in transit, rolling on time, those types of statuses. Planning loads would probably be needs appointment, needs carrier. If you don't want to group your load statuses, you don't have to. You can live in all loads. That's going to be all the loads that you've put in the system from the time you've built them to the time that you're ready to send them to accounting. Also under this gear, you have your customized tables. So you see these headers here, that is your table. So if I click on here, there's those 3 lines again. That is a drag and reorder. If you'd like to see it listed differently than it is currently, come in here and change the way that you view your load screen. You can hide columns if there's columns that you don't want to see, okay? And you can truncate the columns. You can also change your display preference if you'd like it to be displayed under location name, or if you'd like it to be city and state. You can do that here. And you can also change your table font size. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and build a load. And you can do that from up here. You can go to build load here. There's a couple other places you can get there. So I'm just going to click on build load, and you have 2 ways of building loads. You can use the new load wizard and create a load from beginning to end from scratch. Or if you have a load that you're going to be running all the time, you know, the customer is going to be the same, the pickup, the delivery, those are all not going to change. And you're picking this load up once a day, once a week, every couple days, whatever it is, create a template. If you've got the template, you've got the bones of the load already in here, you name it whatever you'd like, and then you can come in and use it as many times as you want. And it's just going to save you some steps from having to build the load from beginning to end, okay? Another thing I suggest, and it's completely up to you, is when I get load tenders, I double check and look to see if I have that location already in my location list. If I do, then great. If not, I usually just go ahead and add it. I do the same thing with the customer. That way, when I'm building that load, I know all the information is already in there and I can just move through every step and just get it done and quickly on the board. You can add these things on the fly within a load, and I will show you how to do that. But this is just my suggestion, is to go ahead and just make sure all that information is already in the system before you begin. Okay, So we're going to go ahead and click on New Load Wizard. I'm going to move this to over here. All right, and let me just write this load number down real quick. Okay. All right, so when you get in here, I do like to point out that you do get your load number right away. Now, there's a lot of times or a lot of TMS systems that I have seen where you have to go through X amount of information and add X amount of information before it supplies you a load number. We don't do that. If you hit build new load, you get a load number. So if for whatever reason you have to leave and maybe go and check on a load from a customer because they're calling you, or a carrier is calling you with an update and you have to leave this screen, you can always come back because that load number is already there. It is here waiting for you to put whatever information you want to in this load. There are no requirements here. You can skip around. If you don't want to do the load basics, you want to go straight to just putting the stops in, you can do that too. I'm going to start from the beginning and go step by step. But again, if you wanted to skip around, you absolutely can. All right. We also have the load actions bar. This is going to follow us through every page. It's very much like that shortcuts menu that I showed you on the load management screen. And again, we'll go over these features once the load is built. All right, so first page is our load basics. Load status, it's up to you. This is one of those customizable drop downs you can add to or whatnot. Load status, I'm just gonna put random things here, okay? Load reference ID number. If you have any sort of reference number, whether it be your customer's load number, PO numbers, anything in here that might, like your customer might call and ask, like, I want to know where my load number 0159630 is. This is a searchable field. So I've got my load number in here. If my customer calls and gives me this random number, I can put it in here and it is going to pull up my load number and I won't have to try to figure out where his load number is. So put any important numbers in here. Commodity, that's one of those other customizable drop downs. I'm just going to pick random things here. Declared load value, that is how much the cargo is valued at. Again, these are not required, but you do have the option of putting them in here. Weight, we're just going to put, let's put 39,000 pounds. Equipment type, that's another one of those customizable ones. Temperature, if you're running any sort of reefer freight, you can put that there. Equipment length, another one of those customizable drop downs. All right. So we get down here and then we have load notes. Public load notes. Anything you type in here is going to print out on the paperwork, your carrier confirmation, all of that. Okay. Private load notes, that is between you and your users. This doesn't print anywhere. The only people that see it are the people that have access to your system. Posting load notes. If you have any integrations with any of the load boards that we have available, you would put any sort of maybe special instructions in your posting load notes. Maybe you're looking for a flatbed, but the carrier has to provide tarps. That's where you're going to put that. Okay. So next step is customer info. I can get there from there, or I can get there from here. Doesn't matter. Get you to the same spot. Okay. So customer, I already have my customer entered, so I'm just going to go ahead and put them in here. It's going to pull their information from their customer's profile. Next, we're going to go carrier. If you own your own trucks or equipment, you're going to hit the green button. If you are a broker or outside, using an outside service like dispatch, maybe your dispatch service, you're going to use the blue button. So I'm going to go blue. Pick my carrier here. I'm going to put myself as the driver. You can also add team drivers if you'd like. Okay. And then next, we're going to get to edit stops. So this is where you're going to add all of your pickup and delivery information. So I'm going to go ahead and add a pickup. We're going to go Americold. Okay. Pulls the locations information. Got my contact in here. Stop action, I already chose pickup, but if for whatever reason you need to change it, you have all kinds of different options to choose from. Cargo description, this is where you would put any cargo information that they're picking up. Are they picking up pallets? Are they picking up cases? How many? What are they picking up? Maybe it's racks. Whatever it is, you're going to put here. So let's go ahead and put 22 pallets of beef. Okay. Reference numbers, I'm sure if you're picking up somewhere, they have got a PO number that they're going to want you to use. And if you've already scheduled an appointment, you probably got some sort of a confirmation number. Anything that the driver needs in order to pick this load up, you're going to put here. Scheduled date and time, let's go ahead and just put today. And then this clock is a 24-hour clock, very much like military time. And if you want, you can use the roller to set your time, or you can type it in. Just if you're going to type it in, make sure you type that colon. And we're going to save this stop. Okay. Next, I'm going to go delivery. I've already got one in here, so I'm going to put Cisco front oil. There we go. Same thing. Here we go. We've got delivery, cargo description. Let's go put 10 pallets. Any sort of reference numbers, put here. Okay. Driver instructions. Oh, I forgot to mention that on the pickup. They're for either one. So if you have any special driver instructions, like maybe he needs closed-toed shoes on the dock, or a high-res vest, or he has to call 30 minutes prior to showing up, make sure you put that in the driver instructions. Let's go ahead and put in a delivery. And now we're going to go to here and we're going to save this. Okay. So like I said before, if you don't already have that information in the system, you can still put it in on the fly. Now, you can do it one of two ways. You can, let me just click add delivery here. So if I started typing, let's say we also need to stop in Cisco Knoxville, you can see here that it's showing 0 results because I don't have Cisco Knoxville already entered in the system. Two ways you can go about it. You can leave the load, you already have your load number, and you can go into locations, click on add location, add them, and then come back to the system. Or you can click here to create a new location, which is what we're going to do right now. So if I click here, you can see it's now taking me into that add new location feature. So I'm going to just go ahead and start typing Cisco Knoxville here, and you can see that this is powered by Google. So if you have information on a location or customer or even a carrier, these things are powered by Google, and it's going to pull the information that it finds online for you. So if I go ahead and fill this out or click on it, it's going to go ahead and populate that information for me, the address and all of that. Now, if for whatever reason you typed it in this search feature and it does not find it, all you have to do is hop down here and then you can manually type this information in and then save it. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Also, there's a couple reasons that especially for locations, we recommend using that Google feature. One, because of it mostly eliminates human error. I can tell you I've built thousands of locations in my career in logistics, and I have transposed numbers. I have put in wrong states. I have misspelled things. It happens. You're busy. You're, just trying to get through it. Also, if you're going to be posting any loads through Ascend to any of our integrations, this is the best format for the load boards to read the address. So we always suggest at least the locations that you pull in from that Google search. So we're going to go ahead and add this in, save and return. And now it's brought me back to my edit stops, and I can finish filling out my information. So again, we've got this contact, we've got it as a delivery, any sort of cargo description, 12 pallets, any sort of reference numbers, we're going to put here as well. Any sort of driver instructions. Okay, and we'll go ahead and put in our scheduled date and time. So let's put that in here. And we're going to save this. Okay. All right. So now we've got all of our pickups and deliveries in here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on my map. Now you can see, because I put Knoxville in after I put front oil, this is not the best way to run a truck. 100%, you're not going to make money off this load. So there are two ways that you can fix this. One is you can just click on optimize stop order. And it's going to go ahead and optimize it for the best route for you. Okay. Another is there's those 3 lines again. That is a drag and reorder feature. So you can always put it wherever you need to. So I just put it back. We don't want it there, but you can always do it that way as well. Okay. A few other things to point out on this page. You've got your mileage in between each stop. If I click on that, I also get a map for each leg of the load itself. If you're asset-based, let's say, for example, your driver wants to go home for the weekend and you need to calculate the miles that he's going out of route to go home. If you put in a waypoint by right-clicking, that will calculate that mileage, or, if for whatever reason you need to put a waypoint in, you can do that as well. If you put one in and you don't want it anymore, you can always revert. That takes you back. Okay. Also on this page, if you needed to, you can always edit the carrier or the customer mileage by clicking on any of those little pencils. You can also put in deadhead mileage. If you want the deadhead mileage to show up on IFTA reporting, if you are asset-based, you're going to calculate it by toggling it here. And then you can put in a pre-pickup or a post-delivery location to calculate those mileage. Next, we've got financials. So in here, income budget, that is who owes you money. That's your customer. So we're going to go ahead and add a line item here. Cisco is our customer today. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a flat rate. Let's say they're paying us $3,000. If there is any notes that you want to put next to those rates, you can put those in here and click them to include, and then that will show up on your invoice. And we're going to save that. Okay. Expenses, that is who you owe money to. That's either your carrier or your driver. So we're going to go ahead and add that. And we're going to give them a flat rate. Do 2,000. We're going to save that here. On here, you can see you've got your gross profit. You've got your gross profit or loss percentage here. That shows up all here. So that is the basics of building a load in Ascend. Now, since we built this load in Ascend, in the background, we have been building all of your documents for you. So in this load actions bar, if I go to load documents, I can go to view or send load documents. And here are all the system generated documents that Ascend creates for you. You've got bill of ladings, you've got a carrier confirmation, a customer confirmation, an invoice. That's all here for you. So I'll go ahead and open a carrier confirmation. If you highlight it here, you can download it, you can email it, you can preview it. So let's go ahead and take a look so you can see what it looks like. So you've got your information here. You've got all your load basic information. You've got your carrier information, any notes and reference numbers here. Stops, that's all here as well. How much you're paying them. And then whatever terms and conditions that you decide to add would print out on here as well. So that's all here from you. You can also email it from here. Okay. So again, that's the basics of how to build a load from beginning to end. Now, since we've also built it, there's a few functions I'd also like to point out. You can get there very much like this is a shortcuts menu. You also have the shortcuts menu. I'm just going to pull up just the load we've been working on. If I hit the right click. Okay, so a few things to point out. Like I said, very much the same between load actions and the yard. I can edit the load, so that would just open it up for me. I also get that edit load if I have it highlighted here, or if I just click on the load number, that's going to open it as well. You can change the load status on the fly. So if I just want to change it, like I know it's booked and now he's dispatched, I can do that. Okay. I can view or send load documents. That's the list of documents that we just went to. I can request documents from a driver. This is nice because what happens is if you have the driver's cell phone number, I click on request documents from a driver. We've got my cell phone number here. This is a template. If you want to change whatever is in this text, you can by hitting edit and type whatever you'd like. I'm going to send a message to myself. Okay. If I go to view or send load documents, here's my image. And guys, we're going to pretend that this is a bill of lading. Okay. This, however, is the crazy birds that hang out in front of our office. So it uploads straight to the load, which is really nice. You can keep everything nice and confined into, where it belongs. All right. So also, let's see, we can send tracking messages. So with Ascend included are two ways that you can send tracking messages. One of them is an auto tracker. Okay, so I can set this up. If I want to text the driver every 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, whatever you want to do, you can set this up. You can put in a start and a stop time. You can enable quiet hours. Like if you don't want him to get text messages between 9 and 6 a.m. because they might be sleeping, you can do that as well. And what happens is the driver every, let's say 6 hours, is going to get a text message. When he gets that text message, he's going to click on a link. When he gets that link, it says allow this to track you. He clicks allow, and then you are going to get his exact location. I'll show you how it works. I'm just going to do it with a single tracking message so I don't have to set that whole thing up. So we're going to send a tracking message. So maybe you don't want to do the auto tracker and you just want to know where he is right now. You can send just a single tracking message. And again, that's a template. You can change it if you want to. And I'm going to send a message. Okay. So now my phone is going to ding again with my text message. I'm going to click on this link. So it does say that my last contact was a few seconds ago. So let's go ahead and check our load log because that's where all your communication is. In here, so you can see where I opened the tracking token and that where I put what I was running on time. And then if I wanted to, I can zoom in all the way down and you can see I'm sitting in our office in Brandon, Florida, right off of Oakfield Boulevard. Okay. This is, just so you see this is your load log. So you can log manual check calls. Maybe your customer wants an update or the driver called in and you didn't have to track them, whatever, you can log it here. So I can put, maybe he's running late. I can put maybe a different location. Maybe he's in Tampa. And I can log that as well. Any communication that you're going to have with any outside source, whether it be the location, your customer, your carrier, log that here. This is like your contact log. And you can put in your check calls and type in whatever communication you're having. This is where you're going to come in and see, have they checked on this guy? What's going on? Is the location mad? Maybe he's running late. All of that should be put in here. Okay. You also have what's called the accountability log. So if I go to the accountability log, this is the accountability log that logs every move that is made within Ascend. So if you have maybe several users and you want to see why was the status changed? Who changed it? I want to go talk to this person. You can do that. It logs everything. You can see who put the customer on it, who put the income on it. All of that is in here. Okay. So that's your accountability log. All right, let's see what else I want to show you. You can send text messages. It works that same way. The text message would go right into the load log as well. You can go to the load log here. You can log check calls. You can copy loads up to 20 times. You can cancel loads. So there's quite a bit you can do with that. All right, so that is the basics of load management, how to build a load, and some of the features that we offer once the load is built. Before I open it up for questions, I always do like to point out the Learn tab. This is our knowledge base. We have videos and articles on just about every aspect of Ascend. If you have any questions, come in here and check it out. We probably have something on it. If you came in here, you can't find what you're looking for, or the article didn't quite answer the questions that you have, please contact support. We try to answer our tickets as quickly as possible, or give us a call. Our number is 813-681-5000, option 2.
AscendTMS, the logistics software for everyone. Make sure you're staying up to date with the latest marketing and how-to videos by clicking that subscribe button. That way, you're the first to know.